You are now experiencing EternalDisco.
Obviously, you saw the title of the video if you clicked on this, and you probably saw social media or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what we're talking about is Sleep Token.
Mm-hmm.
And with spoilers, I guess you already even heard from our opinion that we do not love the new album.
Yeah, do not love is a pretty tame way of...
Oh, I would actively say I hate it.
Oh, yeah.
I think
a lot.
You guys thought I crashed out about the Under Oath album. At least, like, I've gone back to it, trying to, like, copium my way and being like, it's good. Doesn't make any sense, right? Like, maybe I'm dumb. It's fine. At least it's, like, interestingly bad.
Sure.
This is just smooth bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and bad in a way that, like, I have a friend at work, coworker, if you would.
Oh, no way. But, like, Sleep Token?
Yeah. He's that. Whoa, I know, right? Coworker core. Which, to be fair, he listened to them. He listened to them from like Sundowning and all that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Why, he was like early on?
Mm-hmm.
And he still?
So. Or maybe he started at this place, but you know.
Still, he started before like the summoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was so gassed up about this record. Nah, Dylan, you're just a hater, man. Nah, man.
Yeah.
He sent me his like his thing, and without spoiling too much, the word dog shit appeared more than once. So this is like somebody who like was actively looking forward to the album, who kind of got let down by it.
Yeah, well, I think even outside of just like a guy that you know, like us, right? Like,
not to say that we're like the old heads, but
we are the old heads.
We are like the old guard. Like, you sent me Jaws.
I sent you Jaws the week it came out.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like I, in and around that point, had heard Calcutta and Nazareth. And I was like, oh, that's pretty... But I never put the two together. I didn't realize it was the same band because Calcutta or Nazareth would come on like after, in a, whatever, the Spotify, like auto push. Yeah. So I never put the two together until like you sent me that. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is the same band, you know?
Yeah. Well, I had heard the name thrown around a lot from like a friend of mine hyping him up around the time Jaws came out. Just, you know, and he was like, if you like all these other bands from the UK, like Holding Absence and Loathe and like Lotus Eater and bands like that, it came from like the same scene, that same like time frame. And I was like, oh yeah, all those bands are cool, so I guess I'll check out the Sleep Token band. I keep hearing stuff being thrown around. What are they like? And he was like, dude, I'm not even gonna tell you. Just go listen to Jaws. It just came out. Like maybe it wasn't the week it came out, but it was like really close to when it came out. It was well before the announce of Sundowning or any of those singles. And I was like, okay. And I remember listening to it, and I legitimately was like, huh. This might be the best song I've ever heard. You know? I was like, this is, like, I don't think I've ever, like, there's so few songs that I've ever, like, listened to and then been like, holy shit. And then, like, started it right over again and just, like, listened to it, like, 2 or 3 times in a row. Yeah. And that's how it was with Jaws. Yeah. And I was locked in, dude. I was immediately into the gimmick. I loved the idea of the music. Went back and listened to the EPs. I thought they were okay. And then, you know, shortly, a few months after, they start the rollout of Sundowning, which still to this day, one of the coolest album rollouts. Yeah, for sure. Like the idea of the songs came out at the time of sunset, exactly to the minute, like every 2 weeks on the dot. Yeah, was really cool, and I love that album. I think it's like fucking awesome. It's like all that to say, like we were very early on adopters. I know. Between the two of us, we have punished people in the past about, like, get on board. It's coming. Yeah, you know, literally, we used to be like, this band deserves to be the biggest band in the world. Fucking monkey's paw curls. Yeah. We got what we wanted.
Yeah. The biggest band in the world at what cost?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
At the cost of, like, the things that made them good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we could sort of, like... So yeah, so we're old heads. Listened to them before Sundowning. We're there from the start of the Sundowning. You know, this place will become your tomb, a little bit weaker, but still really solid. Some of my favorite songs.
I think I've gotten to the point where I think Tomb is my favorite of theirs.
Okay. There's just certain songs that I just can't really get behind. Like,
it's fine. What's the one? Oh, Like That. The like really horny sounding one. Yeah. And like Mine, where it's like the you. Well, yeah, the like really overblown big one. I like those aren't my favorite songs on the record, but I still like them. Yeah. But it's also got like fucking Hypnosis and like High Water.
High Water.
High Water is like their best song to me.
100%. Like Higher was my favorite song, and then like High Water's right up there with it.
High
Like,
Water is so good.
those two are so good to me. But like, yeah, so we were there, like we've been with them like step by step, and then they faltered a little bit, you could say, with our review of the very first review.
We talked about Taking Me Back to Eden and
the direction they were heading.
Yeah. But and that's the thing, before we really get into the like real details of this album, I did write this down to point out that I wanted to specifically point out that there's a song on Take Me Back to Eden that was the moment, well, it wasn't the moment. I kind of had a feeling. Well, no, I think it actually was the first like non-single on the record, and it immediately turned me off. And like it's one of the big proponent reasons, like the thing that sticks out in my brain is why I don't love Take Me Back to Eden, like about half of it. And that song is Ascensionism. And it's like this record is just like Ascensionism 6 times.
But the issue is like I go back to Ascensionism, I kind of like it.
The first,
But the
like,
oh yeah, we made
the first like
fucking
third of the song where it's like really vibey and like slow, and I love that part actually. I went back, I listened to Take Me Back to Eden again last night after I got done listening to the new album.
Yeah.
And I got into that song and I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
And then it hits the rap part and I'm like,
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it gets to the rap part, and I
yeah.
almost wish there was just like a hold to double speed to like kind of get through parts on Spotify. But that's what I meant. Like, it's like Ascensionism's good. Like, I think it's pretty good. Like,
I would rather listen to it than most of this record.
Right. Oh yeah, I would listen to Ascensionism for 56.5 minutes before I listen to this record again. But the rap part was definitely like the head scratcher.
It's the head scratcher, but also
on that record.
Yeah. Well, then he does it again.
Yeah.
In the title track, I believe.
There's
But
a couple times in that record where he tests the waters, as it were.
but Ascensionism and the title track from Take Me Back to Eden will like have good moments, but they also have moments that make your head scratch, and they're also really long. And it's like sometimes the pieces don't really flow together. It's like they're trying to do like a prog song, but there's nothing really interesting going on. It's like they just slowed everything down.
Yeah, the key to good prog is energy.
Yeah, there's no energy.
And yeah, a lot of songs, especially when the average song length is about 6 fucking minutes. It's hard when almost every song is like a slow burn for 6 minutes.
That's the thing of this is like, hey, here's the song that we wrote on our last album. And we're going to model our entire next record to just be this 10 times.
Yeah.
And if you didn't like it, too bad.
Tough fucking titties.
Tough shit.
See, and that's, I talked to my friend, my coworker, about that. And I said, see, I didn't predict it enough. I said, it's just going to be Take Me Back to Eden 2. So if you don't like Take Me Back to Eden, which I did not, he did. Well, not that I did not. I just didn't think it was.
Yeah.
I predicted just a Take Me Back to Eden 2. What
Sure.
I got was Take Me Back to Eden 5. Like,
Yeah.
it felt like the iterations of to the point where it like distilled down to everything I don't like about that record on one record.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
Like-
it doesn't feel like a logical next step for where Take Me Back to Eden was.
See, that's the thing is like it does feel like a logical next step of all of the things that I thought they were doing wrong.
Right.
Like, and that's the thing that kind of makes my head like scratch my head is like if it's a commonplace thing to be like, hey, here's this thing that we're good at, here's this thing that's working, here's this thing that we're known for. Let's just crank out more of that shit.
Yeah.
Right? And
I
that,
wish we had. Yeah, sorry.
that would make sense if this album was just the Summoning 10 times, because that's their biggest song by a landslide.
Oh yeah.
But there's nothing on here that sounds like the Summoning.
Not even close.
Not even close.
They don't have a heavy song on the record, really.
No, not really.
Like there's
heavy
not
moments.
There's heavy moments, but I think the closest there's one song that's about half and half.
Which one?
The last song. It's kind of got like the whole most of the back, like the back half is like, it might not be exactly half, but like the back half.
Yeah, but the back half is just like.
But there is no vor. There is no even the Summoning is mostly heavy, like a hard song, however you want to call it. There is no heavy song on this record.
Yeah.
There are just 1 minute chunks in the middle of these 6 minute songs that have guitar at all sometimes. Sometimes there's literally just a couple minutes of guitar.
Which, that's the thing that I was going to say is like, it's never been more obvious that this band is not a band.
Right.
It is a guy and his producer
Yep.
and his buddy on drums. And everything else is, you know?
Everything else literally at this point has fallen by the wayside to where it is just a drummer, a producer and a vocalist.
No, and see, here's the thing that I've been slowly ruminating on. I listened to the album in full twice now. I listened to it
same.
once, headphones. I made a whole note on my phone, like breaking down things I wanted to talk about. And then I listened to it again on the way here after writing my notes and like trying to put some pieces together of like why I didn't really connect with this and why I didn't really like it. There's a couple of things that it clicked for me. First and foremost, so behind the scenes information, obviously you probably know, like everybody watching this probably knows that, like, you know, the meteoric rise that they went to over the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? This is the first album that they have done signed to RCA. They are signed to a major label, not like a niche, not like a micro label, not like an offshoot. Not even like an offshoot.
Yeah.
Right? Like an actual honest to God label that like pop musicians are on. Right? This is a major label debut for them.
Right.
So there's like a new, almost like top 40 sheen on some of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I
want to circle back to that, but yeah.
There's a thing that I noticed going on with his vocals specifically.
That's
like,
what I was going to bring up.
There's no detraction I can say about Vessel being a good singer. The guy has a great voice. It's the bread and butter of the band. It is the selling point, is this guy's magical voice, right? But there's something about this record where it's like, I didn't notice it fully until I went back and listened to Take Me Back to Eden. And it's completely noticeable, and it clicked within the first minute, Chokehold. And it is like, they have either intentionally, I think it's intentional, because it would have to be an intentional choice, and then also the production sanding off the edges as well. He's like removed all emotion from his voice.
Yes.
There's no desperation. That used to be like a thing when he sang. It was like, you know, you'd hear like mouth noises. You'd hear like cracks in between.
Yeah.
All of that is gone.
Yep.
It's all gone.
I did you one better.
Sure.
I finished Infinite Baths, and then I clicked on Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
Listened to Jaws. And yeah, the emotion and also the production on his vocal, it's so like sharp.
It's glossed it completely.
It's like super compressed, has a lot of high end information in it, but also has like a distressor on it.
Yeah.
Where his voice does not need a distressor. Like, he needs to be soft. It doesn't need to have that. It's got like a little bit of distortion on it. And if you know what you're listening to, you hear it. It's like you can't unhear it. There's distortion on Vessel's vocals, and that doesn't work to me. It needs to be soft. It needs to be back. It doesn't need to be the loudest thing in the mix with distortion, with all this. Obviously, he's always had a lot of
layers and
right.
stuff.
Like he's got EQ, he's got compression, he's got all that. But it was mixed in a way where it was soft and kind of blended, and now it's like got sharp edges on it. It's the best.
Yeah, it's been like top 40ified. It's mixed.
Exactly.
It's
That's
like
what I'm
it's
saying.
literally like mixed for radio.
Yeah, I mean it's like
Or
all
like
classic
mastered,
tricks.
or like mastered for radio.
Yeah,
I mean.
like distressor with like a little bit of grit and this stuff, and just to get it to cut through the mix, which is a top 40 thing, and he doesn't feel like Sleep Token song anymore.
But also from a song, like take the production away from it, from a songwriting standpoint, I noticed something very early on. You know, we talked about how we don't really like the rap parts. Like I'm gonna say rap parts. He never credit where credit's due. He never like fully raps.
Sure.
He's not like fucking diggity dig 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 dig. You know, he's not doing that.
Right.
He's not white boy raps fast. You know.
Right. Yeah.
But what he is doing is like, they are supposed to be like these hip hop, like trap hi hats, and like these like very gentrified hip hop sounds. Yeah. And he's doing the delivery of like the modern like hip hop R&B singer, like, you know, that style of singing, but it sounds like rapping, kind of hybrid. Yeah. Over it. And I'm not really crazy about it. No. But there's something about it specifically on this record. I noticed he's doing like I described it as the Killer's effect, where he's making it where he's basically, if you listen to it, he's singing one note.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
He's going da 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 da, and it sounds like he's singing, or he is singing, but it sounds like it's a melody because you got the stuff in the background carrying the melody of the song. Yeah. So you don't really pay attention to it, but once you notice it, that led into me noticing that like every song, there's another thing with his melodies. Everything is really safe. Everything is written to where it is written to be performed 50 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and a month. You know, he wrote they wrote this record for live performances, and they wrote this record where there's nothing extraneous on his voice.
Correct.
None of these songs are going to be hard for him to sing.
No.
It's safe. Like I said, they wrote it to be safe.
But I will say, people are currently like rapidly fighting over tickets to see this live. There's going to be entire tens of minutes where there might not be a single person on the stage playing a note. You know what I mean? That's the trade-off for this is they make it super safe. They make everything like glossy, perfect, whatever. There's times where the guitarist is just going to be doing jazz hands or something on stage. What the fuck is he going to do?
I just don't think they're going to do anything.
That's what I'm saying. They might just get off the stage.
They might just walk off stage.
And just leave it. But that's what I mean. It's like this, like we said, this is not a band.
Not even that.
This is Vessel featuring Sleep Token.
Yeah.
That's
which
what this record
you know,
feels
some people I can already see it in the comments being like, well, you just don't know. I promise you, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to look into the camera right now because I'm going to post this and I hope people that I don't know see this, obviously.
Yes.
I guarantee you there is nothing you know about this band that I don't.
Exactly.
I promise you, I'm not trying to be fucking, I'm a cool guy. I'm an old head. I guarantee you I've known about this band longer than 99% of people who will click on this video.
Oh yeah.
And I know everything about the lore. I know everything about the behind the scenes of this band. I know the fucker's real name. I'm not an asshole. I'm not going to say it out loud.
Yeah.
I know who they are. I understand how this works. I'm not even trying to peel back the curtain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to pop the bubble for people and like get rid of the illusion of authenticity for this band. But at the same time, if you look at this and you think it's an authentic band, brother, I got some beachfront property to sell you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and like and to be fair and balanced. Some of my favorite songs that I still go back and listen to are off of 1 and 2, you know. Like, and that's like very R&B. Some of the songs on there are very R&B, but they still have that split where it feels like a band making music. Even if it wasn't.
Yeah.
It still like has that split where it's like obviously Jaws. I mean, talk about just like poppy R&B.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna take it one step further, right? I'm probably more receptive of pop and R&B elements, right?
Yeah.
I like this band because of the pop sensibilities and because of some of the pop parts. It's not just because of the heavy parts.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite songs of theirs are mostly pop songs, you know, that you don't even like love.
Right.
Like one of my favorites, one of the, I think their best songs ever is Dark Signs. Most of that song is trap hi-hats and stuff. But it's because it has a pretty good melody and a pretty interesting vocal delivery, and it's not just like a neutered top 40 kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting song.
Yeah.
You know? And like even on Take Me Back to Eden, I loved Granite. I listened to it last night and I was just like, oh, this is a pop song. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Granite too, and I like. See, the thing is, I liked all the singles on Take Me Back. Turns out those are pretty much the best songs on the record.
Except for I still, and I think I like it less every time, I still don't like Aqua Regia at all.
See, I kind of like Aqua Regia.
But I think that song was actually the beginning of the end, brother.
That's fair.
There's the thing that ruined it for me was someone pointed out that there's like top 40 like claps and haze. Like, hey,
oh yeah,
hey, on it. I hate it.
Yeah.
If it didn't have that, it'd probably be fine.
Yeah. Well, but for it to be a one-off song that has that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really like that, whatever. I've got 11 other good songs, that type of thing. But yeah, little did we know, personally, that the singles, I guess we can kind of get into.
Let's start getting into this. Yeah.
All right, so we've danced around, we beat around the bush.
So let's talk about the record.
So
do you want to talk about the singles, or do you just want to go track 1 to 10?
I just want to like get the point across where little did we know, we did not much prefer said singles.
I thought they were bad.
Actively. Yeah, not like.
I thought the first single for this record was a song called Emergence, which I'm sure it's like probably one of the more popular songs off of this record so far. It's probably the one blowing up the most. Here's the thing. I didn't even like hate it or anything. I was just bored.
Right.
It was just boring.
Yeah. And I really don't have much to say about it because honestly, I've heard it a lot. I listened to the single a few times. I listened to the record twice, 2 or 3 times. I still like so much of this just like runs off my brain like water on the sandy beach.
Same. It's hard. Even when I was like writing notes about this, there's some parts of it where I just like I didn't have anything to say because I was like I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
It's just nothing. Just slides off my brain.
Yeah. So Emergence is like the second song. I just wanted to say like the singles as we got them. I was like sort of copium, and I was like, maybe they're kind of releasing like the weaker songs or the more accessible stuff, and we're just gonna get like 3 Vors or something. You know what I mean? Like I was really coping it up, but let's just say that on retrospect, the singles might be the best.
Yeah, no, seriously. Record. So like as I wrote it down on here, and I was like, I wrote that it's upon my listening in the album context, still really underwhelming. I don't mind the vocal sample part. The arms around me, arms around me.
Yeah. I like that part.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like the weird fucking synth they come in with. It feels really... For such an album that probably had such a huge budget and probably expensive album, there's some synth choices that sound so cheap.
Yeah, like the first song sounds like the init patch on a on like just any brand synthesizer you'd pull off a wall in a major studio.
Yeah.
You boot it up, it's the initial patch. That's just what that sort of sounds
Which
like.
I'm sure is like maybe some sort of deliberate choice, but I don't get it.
I don't like it.
I like the vocal sampling part. I think the rapping part really sucks. There's the whole like hey woo part, like the sample like woo.
Yeah. Which
I don't even think I actually noticed it the first time I listened to it, and then I did because it's very obvious when it hits, and then it hits the breakdown part. I think if you took that out, that part leading from the sample, like the put your arms around me, into the fucking guitar playing of the ding 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 ding, it's pretty cool. It's what you're looking for in Sleep Token.
Yeah.
And the second verse, like the second rap part, when the drummer and instruments finally come in, and he's got the groove, it's like the typical Sleep Token thing where it's like chugging over a cool trappy instrumental, but the drummer is going crazy on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cool polyrhythm. People have like, whoa, it's the most advanced thing I've ever heard. I can't keep beat of it. It's in 4/4, dude.
Yeah.
It's just, he's playing on offbeats. Come on. Look up syncopation. Okay. That part's all right. Everything else around it is just like boring. Like the hook.
Yeah.
Is like just slow, drawn out. Like the intro is really long.
Yeah.
Bridge is really long.
Let me just make another note. The average song length is about 6 minutes on this record for 10
and there's
tracks.
no reason. Every
it's
song
so drawn out.
I think there's a few songs on here, Emergence being one of them, where I think that if you would just like cut a couple sections out of it, cut a couple of the ideas into it, and made it a 4-minute song, I probably wouldn't hate it. I mean, I might not like love it, but I'd be like, it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah, it could have just been a middle-of-the-road Sleep Token.
And like, why did we need a saxophone, like a 1.5-minute saxophone solo at the end of it? I love sax parts, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm a sax player, so
I love sax parts in heavy music. I love sax parts in any music. Fucking, I love the 1975, brother.
Yeah.
They have a permanent saxophone player in the band. Like, I love sax parts. This wasn't a sax part, though. It's like a sax interlude. It has nothing to do with the band. They're not playing the sax while he's singing. They're not playing the sax while there's any other instruments going on. It's just a guest sax player playing an outro. That doesn't even attach to the song. Okay, here's an idea. You can keep it. You can keep the fucking sax solo.
Yeah.
Just make an interlude track. Just give it its own track on the record as an interlude into the next song. Flow it into the next song. And then you can add another couple track lengths onto your album. Make it look like your album's super long. Yeah. It already is. It's only 10 songs though.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, I got some advice for you, Sleep Token. I got some. It's called, industry standards. Put your songs up. Get about 32 songs on a record. That way, you get your, your numbers way up on Spotify.
You get streaming.
Yeah. Every time some poor sod listens to you, you get fucking about $1 off of them. You know, think about that. Hit me up, Vessel. I got all kinds of good ideas.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine if they did that? Just like cut every song into like 4 chunks. That's what every song feels like. To be fair. All right. Let me get that off. Every song feels like 4 ideas stable. Like how I write music. Yeah. Where I just like throw shit at the wall and I send you like a 3-minute song that's just like 5 ideas and like very badly put together. Like, it's kind of what this is. It's like 4 ideas per song. Some of them are a little bit more cohesive, but some songs it does feel like very distinct, like 2-minute sections.
But all this is to say is, like, listen to it again, and I was like, oh, this is one of the better songs.
Unfortunately, yeah. Sure.
That's not my copia moment, though. My copia moment came with the next single, which is Caramel.
Yes.
which
Yeah.
I actually do think I like that song. I think I've gotten to the point where I think I'm like, you know what? I kind of dig it. It's like it's hokey, it's a little corny, it's a little cheesy, but at least it like fits and it's doing something interesting.
Correct. And I'll say there's 2 songs on this record, this being one that actually has any amount of energy to it.
Yes.
Any amount
of energy to it.
Unfortunately, the energy comes by way of a dance hall groove.
Yeah.
Wear black body paint. You don't get to. I won't be the guy to say that. But,
I will. Fuck them.
But I mean, yeah, fuck you. Like yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Twice removed from fucking hip hop looking ass.
Fucking.
Look, just because Drake got to do fucking passion fruit.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you get to make caramel and get away with it, right?
That being said, I fuck with it. I like the dance hall groove. I think it was the best choice you made on this fucking record.
It would be the worst song on any other Sleep Token record.
But on here, I think it might be the best.
It might be the best, yeah.
It's the most interesting. I think the hook is good. I kept a mental tally. I don't know if you know this. It is the only time on the entire record that you hear the drummer in any capacity without the overblown guitars.
Yeah.
Like a kind of a classic Sleep Token thing is like maybe having the drummer come in before the guitarists come in, and like setting up the groove and like getting a feel for it. Yeah. And then you do like another chorus and then boom, like fucking sledgehammer to the face with like the guitar assault. And that is completely missing from almost this entire record, except for on Caramel, where in the second verse, the drummer comes in. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the chorus comes in, got your big guitars, which I'm using the guitars as like a positive high point, but if I'm being honest, I think I hate every single time I hear a guitar on this record.
Just about, yeah. I think there's...
The production on the guitars suck.
Yeah. Yeah. It does sound like it doesn't have any life anymore. It just sounds...
Well, there's no like texture or form to them either. It's just noise. It's like audio mud every time they come in. It sounds.
It doesn't help that they don't play anything really interesting either.
No, they're
really
playing like bar
single
chords.
notes or bar chords. Yeah,
it's just bar chords mostly, and like it sounds like it was written in by someone who doesn't know how to play guitar.
Yeah, almost like we talked about off camera. They've been through guitarists probably quite a bit.
Oh yeah, no, they've confirmed. Like I don't know if it's like confirmed, but like it's no secret that whatever number 4.
I think 4's bass player.
I think 3's the bass player. Oh, well.
Either
way, it doesn't matter. Yeah, whichever position, 3 or 4, that is the guitarist, has certainly been more than one person. I know who one of these people is, like for sure. I don't know who the other ones are, but I know who one of the guys was for sure.
Yeah.
It's not the same guy now. It's not the same guy from before either. Now, I don't think any of these people had any contribution onto the writing process. Except for maybe the one that I know who it is, because that guy writes music that kind of sounds like Sleep Token. That would make sense, but I'm not really sure. I think Vessel writes all the guitars and stuff. I don't know how much of a prolific, like, I'm not gonna say you need to be a virtuoso or anything, but that combined with the new production style from the Carl Brown, I believe, is the producer of this record. He did the last one. It just feels so like neutered and like. There's no identity to it. Even going back to Eden, there's like cool guitar parts. Like the Summoning is like their biggest song.
Yeah.
And it has interesting guitar parts on it. What happened?
And a lot of the cool parts with guitar on this record are carried by the drums.
Yeah.
Like the end of Caramel.
Where they let the drummer let loose for like a minute. But the end of Caramel is like legitimately the best part of the entire record.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it would be a strong part on any Sleep Token album, I think. I don't know if he's the one screaming or not on this.
Yeah, I can't really tell because
I can't tell if it's him or if it's maybe it is the guitarist, because the guitarist screams live apparently.
Okay. I was about to say, because Vessel really doesn't he screamed a couple times. It doesn't really sound good, particularly.
It sounds really good on this.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like
the screams sound very good on this album.
The most that he got, if he screamed at all, was like during Vor, and there's like
16 layers of distortion on it.
Right. Exactly.
Which there is on this too.
Right.
But it doesn't sound quite the same. Either he learned how to do it very well in between sessions, because I have the ear for it, and I can hear like through the distorted layers and stuff, and I can hear like the core of how he sounds. it doesn't sound the same as it did before.
Yeah.
So either he got way better or it's not him. Either way, the style of screaming that they do on this record, when they do it, is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I do like it. I like, outside of the screaming and the heavy part, like, even strip that away. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I just like the heavy parts in this record. Because I don't. The bridge into the outro, the stage is a prison, I'll get what I'm given. That whole section is like one of the coolest lyrical parts of the whole record, too. And he sounds good. He sounds like he's about to cry. He sounds desperate again.
Yeah. Well, I could contribute that to the Post Malone warble.
Yeah, but
he's got the
he does have the vibrato. But I dig it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're not the biggest fan of that effect in general.
Yeah, but like you said, it works in this because it actually makes him sound like he's.
It gives some character back to his voice.
Yeah.
That's like been stripped away from most of the record.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Damocles, I don't really have a whole lot great to say about it except for the piano sounds nice.
Sure.
Dude's a hell of a piano player.
Yeah.
Because I do think that he is distinctly I know for sure that he does write all the piano stuff. He's a very good very good pianist.
He is. Yes.
He's got a good ear for that. It's another one of those songs where like it would be fine on another record. It's crazy that it's like one of the better songs here because like I still don't love it, even though I do think that the hook on it is one of the stronger hooks, one of the more catchy hooks of the whole record.
I think when they dropped the mysterious third-person-y sort of vibe-based lyrics and went more
personal,
I'm upset because people have finally found out my true identity and they use it against me and blah, blah, blah. Like, sure, that's an enticing idea.
I think,
like, that's a good... Like, that's something you can fucking write about, right?
To piggyback off of that, I think that would have been really cool if they would have only done it once on this record.
Right.
But there's several, like, fourth wall breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And there's several times where, like... Well, actually, it's not even just fourth wall breaks, really. There's moments on this record... There are some really bad lyrics on here.
Yes. Specifically on Damocles, right?
Damocles, yes, has the fucking... I can't always be on top of the game or whatever.
I can't be killing the game.
Killing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I love reading
I know
Genius.
I should be touring. I know these chords are boring.
But I can't always be killing the game.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks.
That's really bad. Well, just the fact that he says,
especially whenever you
Damocles that hit me back.
Especially whenever like you look at like Genius and you're looking at the lyrics written out, and they make a point to not put killing. Apostrophe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bad.
It's rough, man.
No, but that's not even the worst, dude. There's like what's the fucking, hold on, I wrote it down because I laughed. I laughed my ass off. There's a line in Past Self, which we haven't got to that.
I try to forget.
But he says, double take on my cash flow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
Killer. Yeah, we love that. We love that for me specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some bad shit on here, bud.
Yeah.
Some bad shit. Provider. I want to be a provider.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would be good just to do a quick rundown on some of these songs because I don't have the mental capacity to think. I want to be a provider. My coworker pulled up a review saying that it sounded like, what did it say? Like maybe Chris Brown or something.
Yeah, it's got Provider has like a fucking like it literally sounds like it wants to be The Weeknd.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
For like the first half of the song for sure.
Yeah, he pulled up a review. But the thing is, they compared Sleep Token to Chris Brown or something in that vein. Not derogatorily. It was like, and that's a good thing. It's like no,
I don't think so.
It's not one of those things. So those were the 3 singles, and we had the most time to sit with them for sure. And like we said, unfortunately, they also happen to be
some of the better songs
on there. But yeah, starting from the top, how do you feel about the 4-minute dry synthesizer intro with not much movement
I don't
or
love
emotion?
I don't love the 8-bit sounding synth texture.
I like the chord progression.
Well, I wrote that in here. I said it does have cool chord progressions.
Yeah.
It does have cool chord progressions. What is it like? Can you halt this eclipse in me? Which is like the refrain for like the whole record, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Is that what he says? I thought it was like hold this eclipse in me.
Halt. Which I guess makes more sense.
Speak without an accent, boy.
Well, you halt this eclipse in me, which is like, oh, it's an okay line. It's fine. When he hits the scream and then it's a good. It's like, all right, baby, It's what we're here for. Get on the ride. It's Sleep Token time.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's a good opening track in that aspect. Until you really start to like think about it, and then you realize another thing that I've noticed about every fucking song on this record, except for maybe Caramel, is every song the same BPM?
I think
I think
just about.
almost every song, like it's got to be a variation of like 10, like
Yeah, plus or minus.
plus or minus 10.
Yeah.
It's like do 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 do. Like it's the same BPM like the whole fucking record.
Yeah.
There is no pace.
But that's probably where Vessel feels the most comfortable.
But I think I think that's his comfort range.
Yeah. He can really do those things where he draws that last syllable out
For 30 seconds.
and then you
whatever.
hear like a
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
he
he finishes a T like 6 seconds after he starts the vowel or the
But I put that the scream sounds good. The guitar gives you the illusion of it sounding good until you put anything thought into it, and then you realize it's just a wall of static.
Yeah. I think the worst thing that happened to them is really relying on that 8-string sound.
Yeah,
Like
well,
it's very generic 8-string sound, and like
but the thing
doesn't
is,
really do many favors.
They've shifted to a more generic 8-string sound because initially, and that's something we haven't really talked about. We briefly touched on Carl Brown and the production. Like the 2 albums and the EPs before, everything up until Eden was produced by this guy named George Lever. I don't know how you pronounce his last name exactly.
Yeah.
This guy, he produced all their stuff before, and he has a very particular set sound that he was bringing to the table with them, with Loathe, with like other bands he was producing. The last Thornhill record was produced by him, where like the punchiest snare and like the drum production is impeccable, and then the guitars are like lots of low end, like so much low end, but like crisp in the mix, like cut through, very like Thal like influence, like the like a lot of not djenty, but like more of the Thal style, more like the European style, not more of the American. Like it's not like Misha Mansour or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's very like it's very angular and like cuts into it, and like it really it cuts into the mix. It's very impactful every time it hits. The Carl Brown approach is to take away that punch, that angular, and just give you heavy, but the heavy isn't heavy. It's just loud. It's just loud. Yeah. If it was mastered a couple decibels lower, it wouldn't feel like anything.
Right. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it is just that's all you hear is just that. But like if you took even a dB out of that, you would just have the weakest sounding guitar. But they literally like the guitar when they finally the rare time that happens, it is the loudest thing in the mix by a lot.
But and that's how they're doing it because it's not heavy. It's just loud. Whereas like before it was heavy. It was down-tuned to shit and back. It was like really tightly strung, like tightly packed into the mix to where like it cut through, and it doesn't do that anymore. Talked about I wrote in here. I was like, there's a trap part in the first song. I was like, why are we doing this again? There's a certain like I talked about the timbre that he likes to sit in that's like monotone, and how I realized that that's like it's an ease of use kind of thing. Yeah.
It's almost like he like just shit out a bunch of ideas in the studio. Yeah. Because what's the turnaround on this? Like 2 years?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, like 2 years on the dot, pretty much.
So like within 2 years, totally redesigned sound. It wouldn't surprise me if he just kind of shit out a lot of these, especially the ones with no instruments at all. Sound very much like it could have just been him in his home studio. Yeah. Pressing keys on his piano. And
yeah, for sure.
Making it work.
And that brings us to track 3, Past Self.
And that brings us to track 4.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I will say about Past Self. Let's look at my notes. Holy shit! Ha 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 ha. Double take on my cash flow is hilarious. And then I was like, just a pop song. It's just a pop song. And I was like, it will be. I wrote in here, it will be admirable if they don't do a heavy part. If they just commit to this being a pop song. And by God, that's what they do.
They did. There's
not a single actual honest to God instrument in that song. The drummer doesn't even come in. It's just a pop song.
Yeah, and I was looking up, and the 2 is not credited
on it. It's just Vessel and the producer.
Yep. So like there's literally not an instrument. And this is what I mean. That whole song is probably like 4.5 minutes, right? It's still pretty fucking long.
It's still pretty long, even though it's the shortest song on the record.
Yeah, and what's gonna happen is it's just like the lights are gonna go down. It's just gonna be Vessel. Oh, it's just weird to me, man. But
Probably.
I'll stop harping on that. That might be the worst song on the record by a lot.
No, I think Dangerous might be worse.
Oh yeah, Dangerous.
That's the next track 4, Dangerous.
Yeah.
I was kind of into the build-up, and then the hip-hop beat started. Not my favorite, but at least when he was doing the hip-hop part on Dangerous, he wasn't doing the monotone thing. He was doing something a little different.
Yeah.
Guitars are literally mush. We'll skip over Caramel. I was like, unfortunately, the most interesting song on the record. I don't love the auto-tune part, but it's admittedly the catchiest chorus.
Yeah, there's a couple of weird auto-tune format shifts in the records.
There's there's parts on it where the auto-tune
like
pops
2 or
up,
3.
and it's like, I heard some people being like, oh, I hate that they auto-tuned his voice, and I'm like, well, they did that for like 2 seconds, and it was supposed to be like an intentional thing.
Right, the format shift where you kind of gets that weird like lower.
Like he did it on purpose as an effect, and like
Yeah.
I get it. I don't love it. I don't like the way it sounds, but I understand that was an intentional choice. It's not like a fuck up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I still don't like it.
Still don't love it.
It's not right.
The breakdown on Caramel when the heavy guitars first come in is like whatever, but then it turns into the scream part with the blast beats and like the overlay of like the bridge, and that's the best moment on the whole fucking record.
Yeah.
Track 6, even in Arcadia, the title track actually might be the worst song.
It's really bad because we're probably gonna go through most of these. Might be the worst
song. Hey, this one actually might be the worst song because I don't even have anything really to write about it because.
It's a 5.5 minute.
It's like a 4-minute interlude.
Yeah.
It feels like an interlude. Like nothing really happens during it.
And it's baffling that this is the title track.
Yeah.
It kind of shows you where his head is at.
Yep. Yeah.
Where
it's very melodramatic.
The do nothing, just guy in a piano style.
I wrote in here, I said maybe this would be cool if they hadn't done this vibe of song already in every other song on the first half of this record.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's the same thing as like the first half of Look to Windward or like the first chunk of Emergence where it's just like slow piano, electronic vibe building. But this time it doesn't build to anything.
Yeah.
So what's the point exactly?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Provider, I wrote that it kind of felt like this album's version of Mine from Tomb. Had the same like boom, boom, like big, like, verse 2 has some of the worst lyrics of the record. Oh, there's a heavier part towards the end of this that at the time of me writing, I was like, this might be like one of the cooler, heavier parts of the whole record. Upon listening in the car earlier, I was like, yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. That wasn't very good.
Yeah.
It's fine. But I literally please put the drummer please give the drummer something to do. Please. He's one of the coolest parts of your band. Please give him something to do.
But also, when they do give him something to do, it's just across the bar line feels.
Yeah. Even he's lacking.
Yeah. He's just doing... Like, he's just kind of doing that.
Yeah, honest to God, if someone told me that the drummer changed, I would believe him.
Yeah.
I don't think that
it was like somebody else who's just like a shed gospel drummer.
Yeah, that understands the assignment and was like, he's learned how to play Sleep Token songs. If it was some guy that plays Sleep Token covers on YouTube that they hired off the street because the other guy wanted to quit because he wasn't on board for this shit, I would believe it.
Yeah.
Because it feels phoned in.
Yeah, and I feel really bad because people were kind of like goofing on 2 in his Drumeo video. This is a little quick tangent. Because he picked a song to play that had like long stretches with, I can't remember what song he picked. Had long stretches where he was playing the E-kit side. He's like a hybrid drummer. And they're like, why would you pick a song that's half E-kit? Like, we don't want to see that. We want to see you do your
thing.
Your 2 thing. And now that seems like this record is half the record is going to be him just do ga on like the little the rolling sampler. And it's like, brother, I guess pay me $100,000. I'll go do it. Fine, Vessel, you got me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If I'm him and I'm in his position, it's like, hey, man, I'm going to make it as easy. It's going to be easy as fuck for you to play.
Right. But
like, all right,
it's almost
cool.
like he's
Let's
a parody
print
of
money.
He's turned into a parody of himself.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, they could literally probably hire half the session drummers and around the world to do this, and they could all do it for sure.
Not have to pay them near as much as.
It will probably happen.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not really going to talk about Damocles. We already talked about that. Let's talk about track 9.
Yeah, track 9, Gethsemane.
Dylan, what is Gethsemane?
Gethsemane is the garden in which Jesus ruminated to God about how he didn't want to get killed, and after he was betrayed by Judas, is where he was arrested. Basically, the downfall of Jesus Christ happened there.
Awesome. That's pretty deep. Now, what's the song about?
Oh, about like a girl that didn't like him very much, or it was like a little bit manipulative.
I mean, honestly, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, he is
Like,
our
Truly,
era's
he
Jesus
is
Christ.
he is Jesus the Christ for the
Jesu Christi. Jesu Christi.
literally.
Yeah,
Wow. Huh. Interesting. Deep.
yeah.
That being said, all bits aside, this song actually like almost brought a tear to my eye because I was listening to it, and it's the first song it's like the first song on the record that has like a lot of his falsetto singing, which I love his falsetto.
Yeah.
So it's off the rip doing something different, and I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right. This is already different than the last 6 piles of slog you've slopped up to me.
Yeah.
And then it hits a part where like there's no other words for it. I had heard someone in a review talk about it, and they're like, yeah, it's got this part that opens up with like a Midwest emo, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
does it really? There's no way. What could they possibly be talking about? And I'm listening to the record, and I remember that like blurb in my head, and I was like, ain't nothing on this fucking album that sounds anything like. There's no like American football like ding 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 ding. Like there's nothing on here that sounds like that. And then Gethsemane hits, and there's a part where it hits, and I was like, holy fuck! They gave the guitar something to do,
Yeah.
like something real to do.
Yes. And honestly, unfortunately, it's like the only time the guitarist has not played a open followed by a 5 followed by 8
Yeah.
type beat. Or there was one song that has the butt rock clean guitar sort of sound.
Does it?
I think so. It might be Provider.
Could be.
Dangerous.
Could be.
But anyway, there's a couple like clean picked out parts that are pretty boring. This is the first one where a guitar slides a note.
Yeah, literally,
much.
legitimately, yeah.
Like that sort of stuff, but not even
and
that
a
good.
cool like
I'll be-
little drum groove with it that feels. You're not gonna understand the reference here.
No, probably not.
Some people will know. People kept saying like, "Oh, like Midwest emo," and I've seen people in their Brain Dead fan base be like, "Swancore, oh, like Dance Gavin Dance," and I'm like, that is not what that sounds like. First of all,
Yeah.
don't say that. Like, let's not put that evil on this band. Okay, they're better than that. Not by much, but they're better than that.
Yeah.
It sounds very similar, and I heard it again, and I thought about it, and it's something to do with the falsetto and all the pop influences. I'm almost willing to bet money that old Vessel has his ear to the ground with like hyperpop artists, because it really reminds me of this guy named Breakins.
Okay.
I don't know if you've listened to Breakins at all.
I just know
That
our
probably-
father's hive mind.
Yeah.
Speak to them.
Me and a bunch of my friends, we love Breakins, and I could play you some clips and you'd get it immediately.
Right.
Because Breakins has stuff where he has like songs where he goes from like the very glitched out pop sounding stuff to all of a sudden there's real instruments, and it's like very like Midwest emo tapping and like noodling around. And they kind of like interplay. It sounds very much like a Breakins song for like a minute of the song. And I was like, oh, I really, really like this. And then it goes and it keeps going, and I'm really on board. And like I said, it almost like made me misty eyed because I was like, oh my god, okay, maybe the band that I enjoy is still in here somewhere. This is a good song. And then a heavy part comes in, and it's easily the coolest sounding like heavy guitar on the record because it's more than just brrr.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like very like thally, like doom ding doom ding doom ding doom ding doom ding, you know. It's good. And then I'm going through it, I'm like, damn, this is a good song. Best song on the record. Easily. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then I look down at the timestamp.
Jesus fucking Christ.
We still had 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, that break after all the
first 4 minutes. And it stops. It stops after the heavy part, and there's like literal silence. And that's when I look down at the timestamp and realized we still had 2 minutes to go. And then went, God, please don't do this to me, because I felt it in my balls, Dylan.
I don't want to be your strongest soldier.
I knew it was about to happen. I knew. And here it comes.
The airplane.
Take
Take your British white man rap.
No, please. Lie me, Travis Scott. Fucking.
See, I have no frame of reference, but the only thing I just laughed, and I was like, I told somebody, I was like, this is just SoundCloud.
I can't remember what the lyrics are, but it's like, I'm like, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm really gonna do it this time.
Yeah, this time let's do this. But okay,
I fucking paused, took my headphones off, and was just like, fuck this.
Okay, so about that section, specifically to me, it's the most different of the trap parts in the sense that it is just, it's not like,
oh, it's not subtle at all.
Well, exactly. So it's the big 808,
huge
the fucking,
808s,
the trap, the trap, the skittering hi-hats or whatever the fuck they call it.
Like
And,
Fantano.
yeah, the Fantano effect. And then he's like, I'm sorry. He's like back here from the mic. Yeah, and he's like yelling with reverb on it. And it's just like,
I'm literally, like, no joke, literally was waiting for, like, Travis Scott ad-libs, like, straight up. Yeah. Like, dude. But you know what? It's not even the worst part. You know the worst part of it is? You get this first, like, 4 minutes. You're leading in, and you're like, wow, yeah, nice, awesome, good song. And then you see fucking 2 minutes of hell about to ensue.
Yeah.
And it cuts right before that 2 minutes. And it end the song, right? And then the second part comes in. And then you're like, okay, well, so, like, what's the point of this? How are we going to resolve the song now? And it just, like, fades out to nothing.
Yeah.
There's no fucking... Like, it'd be one thing. It would be one thing entirely if you came back in, like, a fake out, and then you had a strong, like, way to tie it back to the beginning of the song or something. Nothing. Yeah. None of that. It just feels... it feels like it could have been another interlude. You could have just been like, fucking... I'm going to put you on game, Vessel. I'm gonna teach you a little. If you want to be a hip hop guy, that's awesome. I endorse it. We're from Atlanta, brother.
Yeah.
Born in, we
live this shit.
We live this shit. let me tell you something that Gucci Mane or Young Thug or any of these people would tell you. You gotta embrace the classic, tried and true tradition of the skit, brother. Just text. Oh my! This is a mixtape, baby. We're putting skits in the game.
Oh my!
I need Sleep Token skits.
Dude,
like an Outkast album.
All right. Oh my god, I'm just like imagining it, dude. Holy shit, dude! They could take our British Waffle House bit.
Yeah,
and make
literally.
a skit out of it.
You could do it.
Hell yeah, do it.
I will let you have that idea.
Have it.
Yeah, you don't even have to. You don't have to credit me at all.
You can put it on the deluxe edition.
Literally.
Put it on the deluxe edition.
Yeah, fill it out. Give me another hour.
Have that rap part sort of fade into where it sounds like what do you call it? Music that's like part of the scene.
Yeah.
What do you call that? It's like the type of. Oh damn it!
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of.
Yeah, that term to where it sounds like it's coming to like the jukebox at the Waffle House.
Literally.
and then you have a skit over.
And the skit could be just like you and your producer sitting at a Waffle House talking about like, I got this really cool idea for the record. What if we just put yeah, dude, that would be dope. Yeah. It would, it'd make you feel more human. Yeah. Everyone would be like, wow, he's really opening up.
He's a real person.
He's a real guy. That's my boys.
Could you imagine Waffle like you walk in a Waffle House
with just fucking you open up the door to Waffle House, it's 3 a.m. Dude in full black, half sweated off, but got a cloak, body paint. He's got the mask off, but he's looking down.
Yeah, got the hood
over. He's just shoveling a waffle in. And it's like, hey man, he's like, oi, hey. Yeah.
Oi, bruv.
Oh, yeah, bruv, good set. Like, fuck off.
Oh my god. Anyway, make it a skit.
Fuck that song.
Yeah.
Oh man, and then we get to the final song, track 10,
which is called
Infinite Baths.
I don't know what that means.
Something that their fan base should look into.
It's probably what he has to do after every
set. Every set, infinite baths.
He has to take an infinity bath. Dude, could you imagine?
There's infinite baths around me. Yeah, I bet there is, buddy.
Dude, Vessel, sell your body painted bath water to all the Book Talk girls.
Dude, fucking Vessel, the new Belle Delphine, dude.
For free, man.
We're printing money for you.
All you have to do is listen to our review, shit talking your thing. You get to the last 5 minutes, and it's gold back here, baby.
Yeah, it took us. We're really disappointed at the beginning, but now I don't care anymore.
Just be the guy in the pickaxe meme. Don't be that. Don't turn
That's
around.
the video.
Don't turn around. You got to get to the end so
True.
you can get all this fucking money. All right, I'm losing my mind.
I'm losing it, dude. This Red Bull's kicked in now.
All right, Infinite Baths. I don't really know what happens in the first half of the song.
Nothing. Oh, actually, no, I do have one note because I noticed it and I was like, oh. And it was like a eureka moment. Clicked everything together for me.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of this, which is admittedly wildly boring, was, man, I looked at the timestamp at the beginning, 2 seconds into the song. I was like, fuck, this is 8.5 minutes long.
Yep. Really skewing the
We're
average.
back to the melodrama slowcore. And then I was like, wait.
Melodrama.
Melodrama fucking slowcore. And then, oh great, we're doing stomp, clap, hey, millennial pop. Like, it sounds like a fucking Katy Perry song.
That's so funny. I don't even remember that.
Dude, it's subtle, but it literally, it comes in and it's just like.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I thought like he's about to start singing about fireworks or something. Like it was like, but he doesn't even do that. He just for fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then all right, wake up, honey. It's time for your government mandated 3 minutes of heavy parts.
Gum it in real fast. Yeah, and it's not even like that good a heavy part, really.
It's cool.
But
Screams sound good.
After 6 songs of not having
There-
really anything,
There
going
is
on.
an actual honest to God riff for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Where it's like for like literally 15 seconds, and then it turns into burn.
Yeah.
But the cool
Does the song just fade out?
it does.
Yeah,
It does.
just fades out on
The last of it is just like that like really, really loud, heavy, like wall of noise, and it just gets quieter, and that's the end of the record.
Yeah. And you know what that means? That's Vessel dropping hints. See, buddy, I'm on to you. The next record's gonna be heavy. End on a heavy note. You know, the Take Me Back to Eden ended on the
Awesome moment, yeah.
Yeah, really great. I'm not gonna say that.
No,
They should
no,
have
no,
hung it
no,
up
no. I do want to bring that up. I think someone pointed it out, and I do think, I guarantee you, if the motherfucker would ever do an interview, I'm willing to put money on the line that Take Me Back to Eden was going to be their last record.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting popular, but he probably didn't want to do it for a long time. I think they wrote that as the conclusion to the trilogy of albums or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why, what's the last song? Euclid? Euclid ties back into The Night Does Not Belong to God. Because it's like a perfect loop. It's a really nice ending.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that that's where they would want to leave it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
That's the end of the trilogy of records. I don't think it was supposed to be the end of a trilogy of records. I think it was supposed to be the end of the record, like the end of the band.
Yeah.
He was going to hang it up.
That would have made sense.
And then, unfortunately, TikTok happened, and it made them the biggest band. They skyrocketed, and I think that threw a wrench in everyone's gears. And they went, "Oh well, now we're getting offers from legitimate record executives to make like billions of dollars."
I wonder how many records they signed on for.
I would love to know.
Yeah.
I guarantee it's nothing less than 3.
Right.
Nothing less than 3.
And that's another thing.
Maybe a clause if they don't sell after the second record to get out or something. But
like, that's another thing that makes me think that like it could have just been Vessel shitting this out because they're like, we need a record, Like,
I mean, they pumped it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, we signed.
But
we got to put the record out.
They were pumping out records pretty quick. Like the gap between, I'm sure if I pulled it up, the gap between Sundowning the Tomb wasn't that long.
2 years, I think.
Like maybe
19
2 years.
to 21.
Yeah, maybe 2 years.
And then 23.
And then 23. It's like every 2 years, like clockwork.
But
which means they're starting.
By this Take Me Back to Eden, like as we discussed on our review, kind of running out of gas.
Yeah.
The idea of the band.
Yeah.
They kind of did everything they could.
Yeah. And then
so
this is effectively the this is the you're driving the hybrid and you've clicked into battery power. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely rough, but like part of me wants them to like take 3 or 4 years. They're not going to. I'm not even going to.
No, they're not.
It.
They're the biggest band in the world, Dylan.
Yeah. Which we talked about this. They barely cracked 2 million at the start of this Take Me Back to Eden. They like blew up. Everybody's like, God damn, they blew up. They're up over 8 million by Monday when the numbers update.
Mm-hmm. They'll probably be over 10.
Over 10. It would not surprise me if this record got put on everybody's. I was looking through like the new releases on Spotify, and I noticed all three had Sleep Token. Mm-hmm. I scrolled over, even more had Sleep Token. Mm-hmm. So on the new releases, not even
they're going to get playlisted
the metal, not just the
no, they're like
stuff.
top 100.
Yeah,
like,
they're getting playlisted. They're going to break double.
So here's the thing. Crazy. I think it's almost certainly going to go number one in the UK.
Yeah.
So I think it's Emergence. Which is crazy. I think Emergence is a legitimate, not rock charts, not metal charts, not alternative charts, actual top 40 charts cracked the top 10 in the UK.
Damn.
Like I'm talking like Ed Sheeran, Adele numbers.
Yeah.
There. It's probably not super low in our top 100 in the US.
Probably not.
It's like legitimately it's like a top 40 record essentially.
Yeah.
So it's going to go number one in the UK. It probably will be number one in the US. There was no other big like pop release that it needed to compete against this week. It's probably going to be number one here.
Yeah.
First week numbers for this record are going to be absurd. Mm-hmm. For better or for worse, they're the biggest band of metal, if you want to call them metal.
Yeah. Which makes me think they're going to double down and shoot for 20 million and do this record again. Yep,
we're going to get this record again. We might get some features or something.
If they featured other bands,
they won't.
That would be sick. Like they put on other bands.
It'd be cool, and they have the capacity to do that.
Imagine like an Orthodox crossover.
Oh, it'd be sick. Well, they could just they have friends in the UK scene that would be really cool. Like they could get like Kadeem from Loathe on a track.
Yeah,
would be really cool. One of Loathe's biggest songs on Spotify is a Sleep Token cover of "Is It Really You?"
Yeah,
just a piano cover of Vessel singing it.
Yeah,
they're friends. They got it in them. They'd be cool. But here's what's going to happen. It's going to be like Sleep Token featuring Chapel Roan or something. You know what I mean? Or, something like that in that ballpark.
I feel like I'm sinking down on the couch.
Maybe.
I'm defeated.
Let's wrap this up, man.
Yeah, what's your number, man? Give me a number. I need to know what I'm allowed to say.
I'm going to give it 2.5.
Weak. I'll give it a 2.5.
Yeah, I
can't give it a 1, man. I think I gave something else a 1.
Yeah, I don't think I could give it a 1. I think I could definitely listen to worse. I think if I'm being honest.
Sorry, bug.
And I'm trying to take away like all. If I had never heard a Sleep Token album, I would probably still give this like a 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it's.
If I had never heard a Sleep Token album, it would be a Big Bad Goose.
yeah. I would probably be kinder. Dylan would be way more mean.
Way more mean. I have so much hope.
So I think we'll just aggregate and we'll just say 2.5.
Yeah, I would never listen if I'd never heard of this band. You said, "Oh, bro."
Yeah, it's not like the most unlistenable thing on the planet. If you put
to me.
I could think of worse.
I mean, no, yeah, I could think of worse, but like. Yeah,
it's not that,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
It's not that Wage War album, Dylan.
That's true. Well, that's unreviewable.
That's not good.
It'd be like between a 0 and a 1. Like, yeah, I would not. I wouldn't finish the record if I didn't have to listen for this. I would not have finished this record.
Yeah, definitely. I would probably never touch it again.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like 0 to 1 because if it's a DNF.
But yeah, there are songs on here that I will never listen to again. There are some songs that I might go back to every now and then just for a laugh or whatever, but I'm never listening to this on purpose again.
So don't give them your money. Sell your tickets for a profit.
To me. This is actually all an elaborate play to get Dylan tickets to Sleep Token for his birthday.
It's my birthday that day.
It's his birthday that day. So this is why you should just give them to us instead.
Yes. Send me there so I can... Man.
Stand in the back with my arms crossed, having the best time of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really.
No.
But Sleep Token, if you're watching, I hope that you hire the best LD that anyone has ever seen. I hope you have the coolest light show ever because you're going to need it if you're playing these songs.
And get a smoke machine. People like that. You're always welcome on the couch.
You're always welcome on the couch. I'm not trying to be like, I do love being a hater. It does feel good sometimes. But like at the same time, like I do I'm not going to say that I like hate this band or I'm sick of you guys. I just think this is a misstep. And, I'm doing the classic dad thing. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, you know?
And on that note,
Disco.
forever.
Forever.
I gotta stop saying it. I don't know why I keep saying it.